Hi everyone, my name is Kaylee and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay everybody, hello, happy Tuesday, I think. And trust me, I know you want to get straight into the video, but if you could just give me a second, I just wanted to talk to you guys about something real quick. I don't want you guys to think that I've forgotten about you guys or anything like that, because I haven't. But I'm kind of at like a weird point in my life right now. I've been doing this for 5 years and I'm trying to figure out which direction I want my life to go in. Yeah, I'm 23 years old and I don't even have a picture of where my life is going to be in the next like 5 years, which is kind of scary. And I want to take some time to figure that out. So I'm not saying that I'm never posting again on YouTube, okay? I'm not saying that. I just want to tell you guys, if you see me posting on other platforms, I haven't forgotten about you guys. I would never. But yeah, I love you guys so much and I just wanted to get that out of the way before we get into today's story time. So other than that, let's get into today's story time. I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay guys, future me popping in here real quick. Trigger warning for this whole story time. Okay, there's gonna be talk of SA, DV, and yeah. So, trigger warning. Okay, so for those of you who may be new here, I'm going to do my quick usual little rundown for most of the video. I'll be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave.
There's the door.
And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Okay, so story time about how I got pregnant in my freshman year of high school. Yes. Yes, I did. Okay, so a little background information. This whole thing started back whenever I was in 9th grade, aka my freshman year of high school. And I had just started dating this boy whose name was Henry. And when I tell you guys, I thought that Henry and I's relationship was perfect. I thought that this man and I were gonna be together forever, get married, and live happily ever after. And it's not because he did anything spectacular to make me think, oh my god, he's the perfect man. Like, he never bought me flowers, he didn't take me on multiple dates. I honestly couldn't tell you what it was about this douchebag that made me think that he was just the best man ever. Literally have no fucking nothing for you guys. It's embarrassing for me, truly. Maybe it was a proximity crush, because if you don't know what a proximity crush is, it's basically whenever you spend so much time with somebody that you guys aren't actually in love, or there's not really any feelings there, it's just that you're around them 24/7. That's kind of why you think that you like them or are in love with them, etc., whatever. And the reason why I say that it could be that is because him and I had the same friend group, so we were always spending time together. Like, I really thought that I was living the dream, spending every single day with my boyfriend and our friends. Speaking of our friends, the one day we were all hanging out at our friend Chris's house, and there was a hammock on the front porch, and I was having a lot of trouble getting into it, so Chris came over and he helped me. He didn't help me into it, he taught me how to get into the hammock, and then after I got in, he got in with me, but we were laying on like opposite sides. His head was on one side, my head was on the other. I didn't think anything of this. I don't think Chris really thought anything of it either, because we were all best friends. But apparently this pissed Henry off, because I guess that I was the only one who didn't notice him storm off the porch and go to the backyard. When I think about it, if I saw my man laying in a hammock with another girl, whether they were laying opposite sides and I was just sitting by myself, I would either tell the bitch to move, or that's not my man anymore, because he would be sitting next to me. Anyways, this isn't about me. So yeah, he goes to the backyard, doesn't tell anybody he's going back there. Like I said, I didn't notice this at all. I didn't even think that it was a big deal until later. I was talking to Marcus, one of our other friends, and I'm like, oh shit, where's Henry? And as soon as I say that, Henry comes back around the front of the house, storms in the front door. I get off the hammock to go after him, and he just like straight up ignores me. So I ask him what's wrong. He says nothing's wrong. And I hate when I have to beg somebody to tell me what is wrong, because I'm not your mom. I'm gonna ask you 4 times, and then if you, I might ask you 4 times, and if you don't tell me by the 4th time, I don't care. I don't care why you're upset. Now you can be upset and not have anybody care why. Sorry. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I told you guys, but Henry is a junior in high school during this time. So yeah, then finally after a few hours of me begging him to tell me what's wrong. He finally tells me that the reason why he was upset was because I was in the hammock with Chris. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I just felt like this wasn't true because, like I said, we were all just best friends, and I think this was low-key like a manipulation tactic just to be able to start playing the victim in our relationship. I feel like I was right because he started making me feel really bad about the situation and super guilty because I'm like, shit, well, I don't want my boyfriend to think that I'm just gonna cheat on him or something like that. So fast forward, we don't see each other for a few days, and finally I ask him, hey, do you want me to come over and I can help you with some of your chores, etc. And he's like, yeah, sure. Now, did I go over there because I wanted to help him do chores? No. Not at all. I was hoping that while I was over there, we would be able to talk and it could kind of loosen the tension between us and we would hopefully be able to get back to where we were. But as soon as I got there, Henry had other plans because instead of us doing chores, he's like, oh, let's go to my room and watch a movie. So we go to his room, we start watching a movie, and next thing you know, we are making out in his bed. And then one thing leads to another. We take each other's shirts off and then our pants. And he never asked me if I was okay to do anything with him, which honestly really bothered me because technically we were still arguing. Like, he hadn't forgiven me about the whole situation, yet he was still acting distant with me, and because of this I felt like I owed him, and I knew if I told him that I didn't want to do the nasty, he would be even more upset with me. Okay, let's pause the story real quick, guys, because listen, if you're in an argument with your man and the relationship is new and you guys haven't made up about this argument, do not have sex with them. Do not have sex with them, please. Especially if they're treating you like shit after the argument and then they're only treating you lovey-dovey whenever they want to have sex. No. Red flag. Immediate red flag. Resume. So next thing you know, all of our clothes are off. And at this time, I hadn't done anything with anybody. Like, I had experimented on my own, but I definitely did not think that I was going to be doing the nasty with somebody, especially this early in the relationship. In this next part, you guys are gonna see exactly why I said, do not have sex with them if you guys have not made up. So finally, it's time for me to leave, and I asked him one more time why he was upset with me, because eventually he had told me that it wasn't about me sitting in the hammock with Chris. It was something else. And yeah, so he literally refused to tell me, and then I went home. So I was really annoyed about this, because we literally just had sex for the first time ever. My first time ever having sex with anybody. And now I'm leaving with anxiety and uncertainty about where him and I stand. That probably has to be one of the worst feelings ever. So fast forward a couple months later, we are riding our bikes with our friends and I'm talking to him, telling him about how this one song reminds me of him, and he was telling me that he couldn't remember the song, so I started singing it to him, and he just gives me this really dirty look. So I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. I stopped singing, stopped talking to him completely. I honestly felt like I was walking on eggshells around him. Like, any tiny thing that I said or I would do, he would get pissed off at me. Like, you know those memes where it's like, I hate my girlfriend, final boss? That was him. That was literally him. But I was really young and naive, and I thought that he loved me and that him and I were gonna be together for the rest of our lives and that we were just going through a little hiccup. No. Anyway, so we get to my house and we tell our friends bye, and then him and I go into my backyard, and I have a trampoline back there. So we went on the trampoline for a little bit, and then we went into my garage. And my family didn't keep cars in the garage. We honestly just had a ton of junk in there. So we sit on this couch and we sit in silence for a little bit until we start getting into the heat of the moment again. Once again, we did the nasty, and it was kind of becoming one of those things where I felt like the only time that I was close to him was whenever we were having sex, which really sucked, because at that point I wasn't even doing it because I wanted to. It's like, oh, I have to do this because it's the only time that I feel close to him. Like, if I didn't do this, he wasn't gonna like me anymore. Really sad. So then a few weeks go by and Henry and I go on our first date ever, and I was so happy. I literally, after this, put this man on a pedestal. I was like, oh my gosh, he took me on a date. He loves me. All the feelings of he's using me and stuff like that go right out the window. And listen, I know at this point in the story you guys are probably like, girl, we do not need to hear about every single time that you and this man have sex. hold on. Trust me, I know. Be patient for a second. Basically, during this time, I was trying to spend as little alone time as possible with him. And it wasn't because I didn't like my boyfriend. It was more so because I wasn't comfortable with the fact that him and I were having sex. And not only that, but your girl was not on any birth control. None. That honestly should have been like the #1 reason. To be honest, I didn't even remember about that until later. But another reason is because I felt like it had gotten to the point where I couldn't say no even if I wanted to, because I had done it so many times. And if I had told him like, hey, honestly, like I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to do this, his response would probably be, you're definitely lying, because why wouldn't you have told me the first time or the second time or the third time? Why are you only telling me now? And then he probably would have accused me of cheating on him because I didn't want to have sex with him anymore. So yeah. So then fast forward a few months later, summer rolls around. So we're hanging out even more than we did. And him and I, since we were together 24/7, our friends had their own lives, of course. So they weren't able to be there as well. So of course we were doing the nasty all the time. So the one morning I wake up and I'm feeling extremely sick. I didn't really think anything of it though, until I realized that for the 3rd day in a row, I've woken up feeling really nauseous. So then in my head it clicked. I completely forgot that getting pregnant was a possibility whenever you're sexually active. And I know you guys are probably like, you dumb bitch, how did you forget that? How? Well guys, my mind was on like a million other things, okay? Not a baby. So now I'm like, okay, well, I need to get a test. And conveniently, a few of my friends who aren't in Henry and I's friend group, we would all usually go to Dollar General like every day of the week at a certain time. So I was like, okay, period, perfect time for me to snag a pregnancy test. But I definitely had to create a distraction because I couldn't have all my friends knowing that, or because these weren't really close friends, I couldn't have them knowing that I thought that there was a bun in the oven, you know? So I tell my friends that we should all grab something that reminds us of each other and then meet at the checkout. And they were like, oh yeah, that's such a cute idea, blah, blah, blah. So while they're running around grabbing their shit, I go over to the pregnancy test and I put the box in my pocket, and I'm not gonna lie, I ended up stealing it because I didn't want to pull it out to pay for it in front of all my friends. Fast forward later that day when I get home, I go straight to the bathroom, and I know that they say it's better to take the pregnancy test in the morning, but I didn't give a fuck. Did not give one single fuck. And y'all, when I tell you guys, that thing said positive almost immediately. Like, I didn't really have to wait for that thing to fucking say shit. So then I took the second one. And then the third one. And I'm sorry, but once you take 3 pregnancy tests and they all say pregnant, you don't have much room to be delusional anymore. So now I'm freaking out because who am I gonna tell? Do I tell my boyfriend? Would I even want to tell my boyfriend? What about my parents? Should I tell them? They would probably be so angry at me, I would be grounded for the rest of my life. Do I tell my friends? Even though there's a possibility that they would tell the whole school and then everyone would know that I'm pregnant. I sat with these thoughts for like a good week. And I wanted to tell Henry so bad, but I was just so scared of what he was gonna say. I couldn't do it. So now fast forward, a week after I find out that I'm pregnant, I go to hang out with my best friend Cora and a few of our other friends, and I decided to order pizza for us all. So I told her to go grab my wallet out of my purse, and I guess that I forgot that I shoved a pregnancy test in there, because I tell her, hey, go grab my wallet, and she comes into the room and she's like, I can't find it, but can you come here and help me look? I'm like, what the fuck, are you blind, bitch? Open my bag. And then when I get into the other room, she hands me the pregnancy test. Yeah. And she's like, so when were you gonna tell me about this? And I'm just like, oh shit. And this is exactly why I didn't tell her, because now she's like, who's the baby daddy? How far along are you? Are you gonna keep it? What are you gonna do? You're so stupid, this, that, and the next. And I couldn't answer any of these questions at that point. The only thing that could come out of my mouth was, please don't fucking tell anybody. I was like, please, not even my parents know about this. And she was like, okay, well, who's the baby daddy? As if the bitch didn't already know. So I'm like, it's Henry. And she's like, bro, what the hell is wrong with you? And for a second, I'm like, I wanted to cry, because then she starts saying, dude, you know he's not gonna stick around. Half of his friends are deadbeat dads. He's gonna be one too. And the reason why she said this was because one of our friends, Mara, had gotten pregnant by Henry's best friend, and Henry's best friend did not stick around. No, he didn't. He literally told her, I don't want anything to do with that baby, so you can raise it by yourself. Oh, and then not to mention, whenever she told him that she was pregnant, he told her that she needed to abort it. So yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, the way that it came off when she was talking to me about all this, it's like, okay, sure, she could have been just trying to give me some good advice, some guidance, but it was a little bit sus. Because while I'm talking about being pregnant, she's talking about me getting an STD test. She was like, you don't know where he's been, blah, blah, blah. All of his friends are pieces of shit. And so fast forward a few days later, I'm still thinking about this conversation that I had with her. And the reason why it was very sus was because she had literally just gotten tested for an STD not too long ago, and she came back positive. So now I'm thinking in my head, did she do something with my man? And that's why she's telling me that I need to get tested. Yeah, I'm starting to connect some dots. Okay, things were starting to come together. Not fast enough, but they were. So I go get this STD test. And what's crazy is I had an STD. The same STD that she had. Y'all, when I tell you, it took everything in me to convince me that her and my man did not sleep together and this was just maybe something that was going around. But then again, if my man was only sleeping with me, how the fuck did he catch it? Oh, and of course this just double confirmed that I was pregnant, you know. They were like, OMG, also you're pregnant. And I'm like, fuck. At this point, I decide that I'm gonna keep the baby. But I wasn't gonna tell my man. Absolutely not, because I didn't want to have an abortion, and I already knew that that was going to be his first suggestion of what I should do. So fast forward 2 months, he starts to realize that I'm gaining weight, and he would make comments like, oh, you need to work out more, you should eat less, just some really fucked up things. Like whenever we would get food, he would order food for me to make sure that I wasn't eating anything that like wasn't fattening. And because of the way that he had been acting, I was just like automatically getting turned off by him, and it was way worse whenever I got pregnant. Like before I would get turned off because I was super uncomfortable, but now it's just like everything about him bothered me. When I tell you guys I hate this foundation so much, I literally hate it, like with all my heart. So anytime that he would try to get intimate with me, I would tell him that I didn't want to, which that was a whole fight right there. But then the one day I'm like, no, I'm not in the mood, and he tells me to give him my phone, and I tell him no, and he punches me in the face. Yeah. Yes, he did. And literally knocked me out. I don't know when I woke up, but I couldn't really tell you guys what happened after that. Low-key disassociated for a little bit. But when I finally did come to, I realized that I had to try and get the fuck out of there. But the issue with this was, as much as I would have loved to call my parents to come and get me and tell them what was going on, they were strict. Okay? If I called them and told them that I was at my boyfriend's house, I would have been grounded for the rest of my life, because I wasn't allowed to go over there unless there were adults home. And of course, his parents worked like 24/7, so my parents thought that I was at a friend's house. And none of my friends had cars, so I decided to just go back to sleep. Then I woke up the next day, and I go to his bathroom, I look in the mirror, I realize that I have a black eye, so period, you know, love that for me. Thank God I had my makeup with me, because I put on like 10 pounds of makeup before I went home. And after this, I started trying to convince myself like, okay, this was like a one-time thing. He was upset with me, it's never gonna happen again. Lies, 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 lies. So then after this, he starts getting super controlling. And I know you guys are probably like, girl, we all saw this coming. Like, how, like, what the fuck, why are you still with him? Listen, I was literally 15 years old, okay? And I was about to have this man's baby. What else do you guys want from me? I thought we were in love too. He was very manipulative, and that's just what it was. So after this, he tells me that he wants to start seeing me twice a week, and that every other day of the week he was going to be hanging out with his friends, so he didn't want to see me. And after this, I started realizing that whenever I would come over, there would be tons of empty liquor bottles on the floor in his bedroom, along with pill containers. It was like really bad. And then on top of this, I kind of came to the conclusion that he might be drugging me, because every time that I would go over his house, he would go downstairs to get something to drink, and I would tell him to get me apple juice, and then he would bring it upstairs, I would drink it, and then like 30 minutes, 40 minutes later, I'm dead asleep, like knocked out. And I didn't think anything of it the first like 4 times, because I was pregnant, and at first I'm like, damn, okay, like I'm pregnant, okay, like, so obviously I was gonna be fucking exhausted. But then one night while I'm over his house, I wake up a few hours later, and I'm looking for my phone. Couldn't find it anywhere, so I go into the drawer next to his bed, and I see my phone in there. And then I also see like a journal that literally just says my journal on it. So I picked that up, and when I go in there weren't any juicy crazy secrets. It was just really fucking creepy shit in there. He had a chart with my name on it, and literally the chart was shit like how many times I got head from her, how good it was, how many times we've had sex, how many videos. And then I was kind of confused because I'm like, wait a minute, we never took any videos or pictures of us having sex. So what the fuck is going on? And when I tell you guys, I literally was in shock. I'm like, what the fuck possessed my amazing sweet boyfriend that I thought that I had? And obviously I have a million things running through my head right now. I'm like, okay, is this like whole relationship about sex? What the fuck? Does he even really love me? Does he even really care about me? And the one day I'm in school walking with him in the hallway, and he's like, oh, come here. And we go into an empty classroom, and then he drags me into a closet in the school, like the classroom, and he's like, come on, like, let's do this real quick. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean let's do this real quick? Do what? And he's like, come on, before somebody catches us. And like, bro pulls my pants down, and you know, we have sex, but like, what the fuck? And then y'all, what happens? Of course, within the next 2 days, there's videos going around of him and I in this teacher's closet doing the nasty. Yup. Yeah. When I tell you guys that I wanted to melt into my chair when I had to go to school after that, I literally wanted to die. Anyways, fast forward a few days later, it's the 1 out of the 2 days of week that I get to go and see him. So I go over there, and I guess he forgot that I was coming over because I went upstairs to his room and I see him and Cora fucking in his bed. I'm like, oh my gosh, what a nice surprise. Wow. This is amazing, guys. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Day in the life with a boyfriend from hell. That's what the fuck this is. Yeah, so that just confirmed everything, you know, the whole STD thing that I told you guys about. Couldn't be delusional about that shit anymore, and it was my best friend. Love that for me. After that day, I just decided I was never gonna speak to him again, and I didn't. A few weeks later, Cora and I talked, and she apologized. She told me that she found the notebook with my shit in it, and I guess that she was flipping through it some more, and she found other ones of other girls, you know, how many times he got in head from a girl named Lacey, and then Carly. Yeah. Not only was he fucking being other girls, he was fucking dudes as well. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yeah, no problem with him having sex with guys, but like, shit, don't do it when you're in a relationship with me. What the fuck? Why are you having sex with anybody? Except for me. In the end, he never really got caught for sleeping with underage girls because at that time he had also turned 18. But now he has 2 baby mamas. I'm one of them. Love that for me. No, seriously, I love my child though. But yeah, that's my experience with a boyfriend from hell. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. But other than that, I will see you guys sometime with a new video.